Hillbilly is mentioned. What's your take on her potential upcoming nerf? I don't think that we need to draw the devil onto the wall. We have a couple of things. We have a couple of things regarding her potential nerf. First of all, to put it into perspective, the talks, all of the speculation of Hildryn's nerfs are created by the community themselves. DE has not said a single word suggesting that they're going to nerf her. Okay, that needs to be clear. So it's just the community being paranoid at first. However, that paranoia is not unfounded. In the past, DE, we know that DE likes to use charts, and when something points out, sticks out like a rusty nail, they like to do something about it normally. So, of course, it makes sense that the community would panic, and Hildryn is like a fan favorite, so it makes sense. On the other hand, Pablo, not too long ago, I think it was was it a short or a dev stream before TennoCon? He said something about difficult missions and stuff like that, and it was good that he said that. I'll paraphrase a little bit. He said something along the lines of, "Yeah, we could make missions more difficult with this and that, and Dark Souls mechanics or whatever, and yada yada yada." And it was about the raids. That's right. It was after he had said the statement "raids are AIDS," and then he came around and spoke a little bit more about it. They could do it. The problem is not being able to do it. The problem is going through all of the work of creating something like that, balancing it, getting it into the game, and yada yada, which is a huge chunk of work, and I understand that. Only for a small percentage of the player base to play it. And his argument was, yeah, I know. You guys always say, "Oh, we're going to play it. This time will be different." But he knows the Warframe player base. He knows that 90% of the player base is Ooga Booga Wukong, click button, everything dies, right? And these people, they don't want difficulty. A lot of them, a lot more than don't, say that they do, but they don't really. Because every time something remotely difficult, challenging, mechanically interesting happens in the game, the first thing that you hear is people bitching about it. Most recently, Folly's farm is so hard! The mission is so hard! Why you do it, DE? Literally the only thing that you had to do is not stand in her aura doing nothing for 2 or 3 seconds to stay alive. That's the only thing that you had to do. That was the skill. That was the skill issue. So, Pablo has a good point. Why bother making difficult content? Okay, what does that have to do with Hildryn? Hildryn is being used to cheese the Archimedia missions. Okay, cool. Are the Archimedia missions supposed to be played that way? Well, no, but again, let us play however you want, yada yada. But I think what it shows is not that Hillbilly Hildryn is a problem, but rather that there's something wrong with the way Archimedia missions are. Okay? Why would a player rather use Hildryn over anything else? To bypass, to cheese all the negatives. Okay? But also, even with all the negatives, if you just work together as a squad a little bit, the ETA is super manageable. It's still not a big deal. If you work together just a little tiny bit. Okay, so you really don't need Hildryn. So it can't be just purely skill issue or purely, oh, I'm lazy or whatever. It can't be just that. I think it has something to do with convenience. The players, they really want to have those Archon Shards, right? Because we need quite a bit. Ideally, you want to have maxed out Tau Forged Archon Shards on every single Warframe, however you want them, right? And Warframe, we keep getting more Warframes, and so you need more and more Archon Shards. So that means there's a bit of a necessity to have to do the Archon grinds every week. Okay? And if you're kind of sort of forced to do that, you don't really have the patience to deal with it. You know, if you do them every week, they do become kind of dull. You don't want to deal with playing the mission for an hour when you can complete it in 20 minutes, or risk dying 3 times in a row because your squad mates are interesting. So you get a frame where you know you can get the chore out of the way quickly and have a more or less guaranteed win. Okay, that's not Hildryn's fault. That is ETA's fault. Okay, so what does that have to do with what Pablo said about the difficulty? The fact that he mentioned that about difficulty tells me that DE must know what I just said. They must know internally, without any doubt, that the reason why Hildryn is being used to cheese ETA is not Hildryn's fault or a Hildryn problem, it is a ETA problem. So, I choose to believe for the moment that DE is probably before they think about nerfing Hildryn so that people don't use Hildryn so much on ETA, they will more than likely try messing around with the ETA instead. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that I heard somewhere, may have been Tactical Potato's video, that apparently on Reddit, Megan has already uttered something along those lines that they would be looking at the game mode and yada yada. So that's my take at the moment on it. I don't think that we need to panic. A couple of years ago, I would have been like, yep, Hildryn's definitely getting a nerf. Now, with where DE is as a developer and the, how should I say? For a while, the game felt like it was not being run and designed by gamers, but by, I don't know what. And now it seems like the game is being run and designed by gamers for gamers, and it shows. And I think that this Hildryn controversy is no different. I don't think that we need to be too worried about Hildryn getting nerfed into the ground just so people stop using her in ETA.